At this time, there are no major developments in the war news to report. Any new developments of importance will be brought to you right away. Keep tuned to your Blue Network station.
The Hallmark Charlotte Greenwood Show.
Welcome now to our show. Here's a friend you all know. Charlotte Greenwood is with us again.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Charlotte Greenwood is brought to you this Sunday and every Sunday at this time by the makers of Hallmark greeting cards to remind you that every time you want to remember someone, you'll find a Hallmark card that says just what you want to say the way you want to say it. So when you choose a card, look on the back for the three identifying words, a Hallmark card. Yes, don't forget, a Hallmark card will best express your perfect taste, your thoughtfulness. And here is our star, that lovable lady of stage, screen, and radio, Charlotte Greenwood. The Barton home, where Charlotte is taking care of the three Boston youngsters, finding out that life mainly consists of ups and downs, keeping appearances up and expenses down. The time was around 4 o'clock in the spring afternoon, and in the living room with Charlotte, Barbara Barton was coaching young Bobby for his geography test.
Oh, Bobby, now you must know the answer to this question. When Columbus discovered America, where did he land? I don't know. You would know if you paid some attention in school. Oh, Aunt Charlotte, what would you call a person who just sits back in class and looks on while the others work hard at their lessons?
The teacher.
Where did Columbus land? I bet Aunt Charlotte knew where Columbus landed when she was in school.
Oh, he landed before I went to school. But, Robert, Columbus landed in the West Indies.
Oh, yeah. Next question. What happened to Queen Isabella on her 41st birthday? Well, what happened? She was 41 years old.
I'd say 31 years old.
Oh, you've never passed a test, Aunt Charlotte, making that kind of mistake in a woman's age.
No, but I'd have more friends. Robert, Queen Isabella sold her jewels to buy boats for Columbus.
Gee, Charlotte knows a lot.
Which is still very little.
Only, Aunt Charlotte, why do you always pretend to be dumb when you aren't?
Well, it's safer than pretending to be smart when you aren't.
Hey, look, everybody. Look, here in the paper.
Jack, for goodness sake.
But it's right here in the financial page. Listen. The Friendship Mine, which was reopened several months ago, has declared earnings of $1,500. The mine is owned jointly by T.J. Gregory and the Barton Estate.
Does that mean we're going to get some money?
Oh, I wanted to keep it a secret until we were all at the supper table. As a matter of fact, we've already received a check for $750.
Oh, boy. Half of $1,500, $750.
Our first money from the mine.
Is $750 a lot? It's enough to get a few things we've been needing around here. Take that tilapia mine. It's a wreck.
You can get along perfectly all right with that car.
It'll fall apart any day. I'll leave it to Aunt Charlotte. When I drove you to the lunchroom this morning, didn't you hear those pistons knocking?
I thought it was my knees.
For $750, we could build a rumpus room in the basement and put in a real dance floor. Oh, who wants to dance? Modern dancing is becoming our most popular national pastime, isn't it, Aunt Charlotte?
Well, it certainly is developing by leaps and bounds. What would you do, Robert?
Buy my dog Flash a real diamond collar and put him in the New York Dog Show.
Oh, now you don't figure that mutt of yours could win a prize, do you?
Well, maybe not, but he'd certainly need a lot of nice dogs.
Yes, but if we build a rumpus room, just think of all the fun we could have, all the parties.
Well, now, while we're thinking, let's think about your education and the taxes due on the estate next fall.
Yeah, but
it isn't my money. You're the heirs to the Barton estate, but if you divided the $750 equally, that would only be $250 apiece.
Yeah. Gee, that's right. Couldn't buy any kind of a car for $250.
Build a rumpus room. I guess I couldn't even get Flash a very good diamond collar.
Well, then, why not give the money a chance to grow?
How do you mean, a chance to grow?
Well, invest it wisely. What do you say?
You know, with that, I think Aunt Charlotte's right.
Jack?
Well, Well, sure, if the investment's a good one.
Yeah, let's let it grow. I like to see things grow.
Do you, Robert? Well, come on, let's go out in the garden and have a look before supper.
Gee, Aunt Charlotte, things are beginning to come up already.
Mm-hmm. It won't be long now till we have to start weeding again.
Only how can you tell which are flowers and which are weeds?
That's easy, Robert. Pull up everything, and if they come back, they're weeds.
Hey, Aunt Charlotte, look. Those two men in that car. One of them's a cowboy. Look, he's got on a real 10-gallon hat.
I wonder how much those hats cost a gallon.
Oh, gee. They're coming here.
Well, howdy, ma'am. Good afternoon, madam. I hope you'll forgive this untimely intrusion, but my name is Frank Newton. This is my partner, Mr. Jones.
How do you do?
It sure is a pleasure meeting up with you.
We were driving by, and I suddenly remembered a very important phone call I promised to make at exactly 4:15. Well, there are no public phones in this neighborhood. I realize it's an imposition, but if you'll be so gracious...
Oh, it's no imposition at all. Robert, take Mr. Newton into the house and show him where the telephone is, will you?
Madam, you are the epitome of kindness.
My Aunt Mattie's nice, too.
The phone's right in the front hall. I'll show you, Mr. Newton. Come on.
Blessings on thee, little man. How I like thy smiling pan. Lead on, my boy.
Gee, this is a right pretty little town you got here, ma'am.
Oh, you're a stranger in Lakeview?
Yes, ma'am. I'm from the uncrowded places of the West, where a person can always stake a claim.
Well, I'm from the crowded places of the East, where a person can't even claim a stake.
I reckon you don't understand, missy. Wide open country, where a man's best friend is his horse.
Well, I always thought a man's best friend was his dog. Isn't a horse a little big to jump up on your lap?
Well, I hail from, ma'am, we don't make jokes about horses.
Oh, really? Well, seriously, I'm very fond of horses.
Well, now, then I allows you and me'll hit it off first rate. Why, I used to own the famous Lightfoot out of Bonnie Briar by Cyclone.
I used to have a horse, too. He was out of Glendale by motor truck. But he was such a big horse.
He? How many hands high was he?
Oh, 6 or 8.
But, ma'am, 6 or 8 hands ain't enough for a horse.
Well, these days, everything is short-handed. But he was lovely, though. His name was Grade A.
Well, I heard of a horse called Sunny Day, but I don't recollect none called Gray Day.
No, Grade A. He used to work on a milk wagon.
Oh, ma'am, you're just pulling my bootstrap. Why, Lightfoot's a racehorse. You must have heard of her. She's owned now by Mr. C.P. Whistler in a mighty fast critter on a muddy track.
Oh, yes, I've heard of her. Whistler's mother.
You know, ma'am, I reckon you're just the sort of person I've been a hankering to meet up with.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Jones.
Just call me Death Valley. Of course, that's where I hail from.
Oh, how exciting.
Yes, sirree. Why, Mr. Newton and myself have prospected that far country for years. Yep, I've panned it all.
Oh, you're a critic.
I'm a miner. And so is Mr. Newton. That's why we're here in Lakeview.
No, there aren't any mines around here.
Don't be too sure of that, ma'am. Gold is where you find it.
Yes.
Wait, I shouldn't have let that out. See, I hope you can keep a secret.
I can. The trouble is I always tell somebody who can't.
Now, don't go saying nothing about this, but Newton and me have bought 400 acres at the south end of the lake. And I'll be mighty mistaken if we don't hit gold.
Oh, there's no gold at the south end of that lake.
Words are inadequate to express my thanks. May I tender this $1 to pay for the phone call?
Oh, there's no charge for the call?
Oh, but it was a long-distance call to the state capital. I had to discuss some business with a prominent banker.
Well, even so, a long-distance call to the state capital is only about 80 cents.
Why, shucks, ma'am, take the $1. Why, there's 8 million more where that one came from.
Well, if you insist. Of course, I owe you some change.
Oh, change. Calls to mind those priceless words. This Stygian mood I would have strange. The thing I cry for is a change.
Yes, that's a baby's prayer at twilight.
Absolutely correct, madam. I perceive we are both devotees of the muse.
Whose?
Muse. Incidentally, I noticed on the hall table a very beautiful volume of Robert Browning.
Oh, that's the first edition.
Quite valuable, I dare say.
Yes, it is.
Well, thank you again, madam. I'm being very stupid today. I didn't quite catch your name.
Greenwood?
Ah, yes. Thank you again. And good day, Mrs. Greenwood.
You still haven't quite caught it. It isn't Mrs. Greenwood, it's Miss Greenwood.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're sorry. That's all right, Mr. Newton.
Bless my scuppers, you aren't by chance the Miss Greenwood who's half owner of the famous Friendship Mine.
Oh, no. Friendship Mine belongs to the Barton children, but I'm sort of managing the Barton estate.
Well, this is a surprise indeed. Miss Greenwood, you must pay us a visit. We'd like your opinion on our Lakeview holding.
Oh, I wouldn't know anything about that.
Oh, this does, madam. A shrewd mining operator like you?
No, I really...
Confidentially, Jones and I believe we have something valuable.
That's a fact, ma'am. And Mr. Newton here sure to know why he is one of the most successful prospectors in Death Valley.
Oh, gee. Mr. Newton, have you been in Death Valley?
Why, young man, I've prospected Death Valley from Goldfield to Mojave. Why, I've been all over Furnace Creek, Bullfrog Hill, Mesquite Springs.
Looky, ma'am. Why don't you come on out tomorrow and bring this here young'un along? I'll let him ride my pony.
Have you got a pony? A real pony?
I sure have, partner. Watched him all the way from Death Valley. That horse goes wherever I go. Why, I eat and sleep with him.
Charlotte, can we go tomorrow, can we?
Well...
Oh, please, Aunt Charlotte.
Well, maybe after school.
Then it's all settled. We'll be expecting you. Good day, Miss Greenwood.
Be a seeing you, ma'am.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Mr. Newton.
Goodbye, Mother.
Aunt Charlotte, why do you suppose Mr. Jones sleeps with his horse?
I don't know, Robert. Maybe his horse owns the blanket. We better go in the house now. Hello? Hello? Oh, hello, Mr. Walters. I guess we were cut off.
I'm leaving for school now, Aunt Charlotte.
Just a moment, Mr. Walters. Have you got a clean handkerchief, Robert?
Yes, I'm taking a piece of this rock Mr. Jones gave me when we were out at the mine yesterday.
All right, dear.
Bye, Aunt Charlotte.
Goodbye. Hello, Mr. Walters. About that analysis you made for me, Yes, one of the men gave me that sack full of dirt. Uh-huh. But after I got your detailed report in the mail, I wanted to be doubly certain. I see. Then there's no doubt about it. Well, thank you very much for analyzing it. Goodbye. Oh, good morning, Mr. Newton.
And what a beautiful morning it is. A morn so fresh, a morn so fair. What else in all the world's as rare? That's Shakespeare.
Rare though it is, it brings to mind there's something harder yet to find. That's bacon.
Touché, Miss Greenwood. A very timely rhymely. Oh, say, that reminds me. I wonder if you'd consider selling that first edition Browning of yours.
Well, maybe someday, if I needed the money, but certainly not now. Oh, come in, Mr. Newton.
Oh, thank you. I've only a moment. Merely stopped in to express regret that I was unable to be at the property yesterday.
Oh, we had a wonderful time.
Yes, so Jones told me. But he says, Miss Greenwood, that you don't understand horses. That's probably because you never owned a good, dependable horse.
That's nonsense. I had a horse that was very dependable. He kicked me in the same place for years.
Very good, very good. Well, I'm glad that you and that young nephew of yours had a good time. He must be a great comfort to you. As the immortal bard says, nothing in this life is sweeter than the patter of little...
Peter?
Indubitably. But seriously, every man should have children, get married, and settle down. Don't you think so?
Providing he does it in the right order.
You know, Miss Greenwood, I've been thinking, these Lakeview holdings of mine, I haven't gotten around to having an analysis made as yet, but...
I should think that's the first thing you do.
Well, I've been out of town a great deal. But if the analysis does show something, well, it's occurred to me that this would be a splendid opportunity for the Barton youngsters to become partners of mine.
Well, now, wouldn't that be hard to arrange?
Oh, no. Quite simple. Jones and I own 400 acres. We'd sell the children 200. Who knows? We may strike a bonanza, and the children and I could split the profit.
Oh, a bonanza split. Lovely.
Yes. Well, anyway, it's something to think about.
Well, now, if we bought in right now, how much do you want for a half interest?
Oh, I wouldn't know. What I've said was merely a suggestion.
Well, you must have some idea.
Well, actually, Miss Greenwood, this is a very small operation compared to some of my others. Jones and I only paid $1,500 for the whole tract. A half interest would be $750. But that...
Oh, that's quite a lot of money. That's all the ready cash we have.
Yes, I know it is. I know it's a lot of money, yes. Well, I've got to get downtown.
Mr. Newton, we'll buy 200 acres for $750.
Well, I still think that this is a very... Huh?
A half interest. We can draw up the papers this afternoon.
Sunday, May 13th, is a day for remembering Mother, letting her know how much we appreciate and love her. One way to tell her this is by sending a beautiful card. For even your finest gifts to Mother can never mean more than a lovely card that brings her your affectionate message. And you'll find a Hallmark Mother's Day card that says just what you want to say, the way you want to say it. Stop in at your Hallmark dealers. There's still time to make your selection from the fine, tasteful Hallmark cards for mothers young and old. You may choose a card as quaint and charming as lavender and lace, or as gaily modern as Mom herself. There are cute little cards for the youngsters to send to Mother. And don't forget the mother of your sweetheart or your dearest friend. She, too, will welcome a thoughtful card intended especially for her. Every Hallmark Mother's Day card is worthy of the loveliest mother. Choose your cards this week. Remember, Hallmark cards are on display at America's finest stores. And remember, too, a Hallmark card will best express your perfect taste, your thoughtfulness. And so back to our story. Several days have passed since Charlotte decided to buy into Mr. Newton's venture, and now one evening...
Boy, am I tired.
Well, where have you been, Robert? It's way after 5 o'clock.
Playing baseball. Our team played the Lakeview Tigers.
Must have been a long game. What was the score?
23-0 in their favor.
Goodness, they beat you that badly?
They didn't beat us at all. Our side hasn't been up to bat yet.
Well, you'll have your chance tomorrow. That's the nice thing about this world, Robert. There's another day and another chance for all of us. Every 24 hours. That's what keeps the Brooklyn Dodgers going.
Say, Aunt Charlotte, guess what I saw in Pastell's window? A real slugger bat autographed by Babe Ruth. And it's only $8.
$8? I didn't know bats were so expensive. What's the matter with the one you just got?
Oh, but this is a genuine slugger with Babe Ruth's name on it. I'll buy it myself out of my share of the money we got.
But we agreed to invest that money, don't you remember?
Well, I wish we had the money now.
But, darling...
Oh, I guess I'll go upstairs and get ready for supper.
Robert, please try to understand.
Evening, Charlotte.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Anderson. Has Judge Cronin returned from his trip?
Oh, yes. He got home this morning. Told me he was going to be here around 5 o'clock.
Hi there, Miss Greenwood.
Oh, good evening, Junior.
Here's the mail from the lunchroom, Miss Greenwood.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello, Mr. Anderson. I knew you'd be here.
How could you possibly know?
Well, I got second sight. You see, I was brought up by a tribe of gypsies.
Now, Junior, don't you
Oh,
start.
yes, I was now. Yes, sirree, Bob. I lived way out in the forest. Wore flowers instead of clothes.
You wore flowers?
That's right. I did, yes, sir. Instead of a shirt, I wore lilies. Lilies, mind you. Yes, sir. Instead of a coat, I wore daisies. All I needed was some bachelor buttons.
Well, why bachelor buttons?
Well, Miss Greenwood, I got to toddle along. Good night.
Good night, Junior.
Now, wait a minute. If you wore lilies and daisies, why did you need bachelor buttons?
To hold up my pantsies.
Good evening, all.
Good evening, Judge Cronin.
Say, make this snappy, Cronin. I'll give you a lift downtown. I won't be but a moment. I merely dropped in to find out what's been happening while I was away.
Well, for one thing, I've been thinking about selling my first edition of Robert Browning.
Selling it?
Mm-hmm.
What for?
$100. In fact, the gentleman who wants it is calling here this afternoon to talk about it.
Well, it should be worth a great deal more than $100. Of course, I'm not an expert on rare books. My hobby is coin.
Yeah, Cronin still has the first coin he ever earned.
Yes, that's right. Please. Nothing of the sort. I'm speaking numismatically.
Oh, you do it beautifully, Judge.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you said that. But what I mean is, I'm the greatest coin collector in the country.
You don't say. What happened to Morgenthau?
No, seriously, Charlotte, you do need someone to look after your financial affairs.
Yes.
Some shrewd, wise, experienced person like...
Yes, like...
or more particularly like...
After all, the world is full of bunco men. Why, I understand there's been one at work right here in Lakeview. He sold 400 acres of worthless land, supposedly containing gold.
What's that, Cronin?
Of course, the gold is simply planted. A few small nuggets are loaded into a shotgun and fired into the ground. Then the victim is allowed to discover them for himself.
Oh.
It seems this fellow Newton...
Oh, Mr. Anderson.
Let me sit down.
Anderson, old boy, what is it?
I bought an acre from him.
Well, you...
Paid $300 for it. Cash.
Oh, you were winning.
Oh, he certainly was.
I should say.
Why, for $750, I bought 200 acres.
Now, that's more like... 200. Oh, this is terrible, Miss
Now, Judge, everything is all right. The land is still there.
Oh, still there, she says. Still there. That land is utterly useless. A waste area. Newton probably bought the whole tract for $100.
Never mind about that. Do something for me.
What's that?
My head is spinning. There's a ringing in my ears. It's getting louder.
Oh, that's the door chime. Just a second.
Greetings, friends, one and all. A lonesome neighbor has come to call. Why, it's Mr. Anderson, isn't it?
You imposter.
Imposter.
There wasn't any gold in that land you sold me.
Oh, come now, Anderson. Don't take it so badly. When I have a little hard luck, I just whistle.
Mm-hmm. I tried that once myself.
Yeah, what'd it get you?
3 Airedales and a poodle.
Not only did you swindle me, Newton, but you threw Miss Greenwood a curve.
Well, that's all right now. I can use a few curves.
Please, Miss Greenwood. Please, no levity. This is no light matter. After all, I am an attorney. I'll deal with Newton, and I'll get your money back. This man is a swindler.
Swindler?
Yes.
Please, I merely sold 400 acres of land.
Aha! So you admit you sold it, huh?
Certainly, I admit it. I sold every stone, rock, and pebble of that good Richard.
Yes, you did, on the misrepresentation that it contained gold.
Miss Greenwood, did I ever mention gold to you?
No. No, you didn't.
No, of course not. My partner may have thought the land contained gold, but I made no promises whatsoever. I simply sold some real estate. A legitimate transaction.
He never said anything about the... Oh, dear me. And I'm afraid there isn't anything to be done. It's a case of caveat emptor.
Flattery will get you nowhere. As you seem to be Anderson's attorney,
Yes?
I'm notifying you that I intend to sue that character defamer for defamation of character.
No, but
I am hailing him into court. Nobody can call me an imposter.
Oh, but of course you are, Mr. Newton.
Huh?
I've known it all along.
What? What's that? You do?
Mr. Newton, didn't you tell me that you'd prospected all over Death Valley? What was it you said?
Well, I don't know what you're driving at. I said I knew Death Valley from Goldfield to Mojave. That I prospected at Furnace Creek and Bullfrog Hill and Mesquite Springs.
Mm-hmm. You should have looked up the pronunciation of some of those words. Real Death Valley prospectors don't call it Mojave, Mr. Newton, but Mojave.
They do?
Mm-hmm. And it isn't Mesquite Springs, it's Mesquite. You see, I've been in Death Valley.
You have?
And that long-distance call that you made on our phone to the prominent banker at the state capitol?
Yes, yes.
Well, when I checked up on the charges, I found you'd really called a war worker in Mound City.
I see what you mean.
You told him all about your Lakeview gold mine? Although just a moment before, Mr. Jones informed me it was a deep secret. You know, it all seemed just a little suspicious.
Oh, I bet you're just the suspicious type. I'll bet you're the kind who always looks under your bed.
I used to look until one night I forgot I was sleeping in an upper berth.
Charlotte, if you suspected that he was an imposter, why did you believe in the gold?
I didn't believe in the gold, but I did have the dirt analyzed. The land contains a large deposit of kaolin.
Kaolin? Kaolin? Great Scott.
What is kaolin?
Kaolin, my dear sir, is a very rare and valuable type of clay. It's used to make porcelain.
We're rich. Why, Cronin.
Yes?
That ringing in my ears is gone.
Now I've got it.
I feel wonderful. Yeah, there's a sort of warmth stealing over me.
Mr. Anderson, you're sitting on the radiator.
I think. So you see, Mr. Newton, no matter what you sold that land for, you've cheated yourself very nicely.
No doubt you all imagine you're very clever.
I hope not too clever, Mr. Newton. Cleverness is like those planted gold nuggets.
Whatever do you mean?
Very brilliant and dazzling, but sometimes so dazzling that you're blinded by it and you overlook the fact that it's the good earth of honesty that pays off.
A very pretty sentiment, Miss Greenwood. But I didn't do so badly on the good earth I sold you. Well, good night, my dear friends. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Oh, well, I'll find another chump tomorrow.
I wonder.
Yes, I wonder how a slick operator like him did overlook that kaolin deposit.
Some people are like taxicabs. They go through life just missing everything.
Yes, well, it's unfortunate, though, that he was shrewd enough to stay inside the law.
Only he wasn't.
What?
That war worker in Mound City told me Mr. Newton not only phoned him about the gold mine, but wrote him a letter.
Oh.
Now, isn't that using the mails to defraud?
Why, yes, it is indeed. Why, I'll phone the police and have them picked up at once. You see, Charlotte, the kind of things that you get into.
You certainly do need somebody to handle your financial affairs.
Especially the next time you buy anything.
Boys, you're absolutely right, and the next time I'll let you buy it for me.
Wow.
In fact, there's a purchase you can handle for me tomorrow. You'll see it in Purcell's window. A genuine autographed slugger bat.
A bat? Now, what do you want a slugger bat for?
Just in case somebody else tries to throw me a curve.
I want to remind you again, the next time you buy a card for any occasion, look on the back for the identifying words, a Hallmark card. Hallmark. A Hallmark card. Like sterling on silver, those three words are your assurance of finest quality. They tell your friends you cared enough to send the very best. Yes, a Hallmark card will best express your perfect taste, your thoughtfulness. And now, Charlotte Greenwood.
Friends, we folks at home may often think we're doing all we can. We're giving blood and buying bonds to back each fighting man. But we're not doing all we can until we follow through with one small, simple, easy thing that all of us can do. So do this thing that tells them we remember them and care. That tells them that their safe return is everybody's prayer. That gives them heart to fight and win. Although the going's hard. Yes, do it, friend. I mean, just send a letter or a card. And now, until next Sunday at the very same time, this is Charlotte Greenwood saying, so long, friends, until we meet again. So long, neighbor, till next Sunday, I shall say, so long.
Hallmark Charlotte Greenwood Show, myself, H.C. Johnson. By special arrangement, our guest star was Ellen Reed, known to you all as Falstaff Openshaw, who played Mr. Newton. With Miss Greenwood also were John Brown, Charles Cantor, Artie Auerbach, and Edward Ryan, who appeared through the courtesy of 20th Century Fox. Program directed by Thomas Freebairn Smith came to you from Hollywood. This is Wendell Niles speaking.
This is the Blue Network of the American Broadcasting Company.